Hey Raw Nation, it's your girl Rena Elise, and I am back with another video. Welcome everybody that is new to my channel. I just want to say that I appreciate you being here because I truly do enjoy these sit down videos. I enjoy connecting with people and letting them just know my personal experience in life and how I've overcame things. And welcome back my returning subscribers, y'all. I appreciate everything that y'all do for me. I have like crazy watch hours and I'm so close to being monetized, and I just want to say thank y'all in advance for that. It is so greatly appreciated. So today I want to talk about a topic that I don't really see a lot of people talk about. I think this is something that in these 20s and adult years in life, we really need to understand that is important, and that is stability. I feel that stability is something that really, really does play a part in your success in life. And that's not just being stable in an environment, but that's just being stable in your mind, in your heart, and in your spirit. When I was growing up, I used to move around a lot with my mom. I'm not gonna say we moved around like a lot, but we moved around enough to where I hated to move. I hated moving because it was so draining, it was so annoying, and I just never felt like I could build that home that you see on TV. Like as a kid, you watch all these shows and you watch kids grow up in their home and all of that, and I don't know, I hated not having that, and I also hated not having both of my parents in my home, and going from my mom's house to my dad's house to my grandma's house to my grandma's house to my auntie's house to my auntie's house. I hated that. I really did. I wish that everybody just lived in one house and everybody got along and everybody was together and that my parents were together so that I can experience those Christmases where I wake up and I see both my parents, or Thanksgivings. And I just really wanted that type of family stability growing up, and I didn't really have it. Now, I did not grow up, I didn't have a bad childhood growing up. I didn't have a childhood where it was like I didn't see both my parents every holiday. I always spent my holidays with both parents. That was something that never was an issue. I never grew up in a life where my parents were not active or involved. I just wish that they were together, and so that I didn't have to go back and forth and have a room here and a room there, and I'm missing this item, I can't get dressed because I'm missing this, and it was just a lot. Fast forward to me being an adult. I am now 26, and I do have a more stable situation. Prior to me moving into this home, I had an apartment and I was staying in there for almost probably 7 months, and before that I was bouncing from couch to couch to couch to couch to car to car to ultimately sleeping in my car for months. And I never realized how okay with being unstable I was. And I would say that it's probably deriving from just moving around a lot as a kid, that I just felt like it's okay, I'll figure it out. It's okay, I'll figure it out. And granted, I did by God's grace. Once I moved here, I realized how detrimental me not being stable was to my life and to my success. It allowed me to always constantly be on go, to never be in a space to where I could actually sit down and build something and think. I was always creating temporary spaces that I knew I wasn't going to be in, so I didn't really care for them as much, or I didn't really see the value of investing into these spaces at the time, because I knew eventually I was going to leave and not really care about it or not be around to see what happens next. Now that I'm here in this home, and I do feel like this is a favorite home for me and my family, I see how unstable my mind and my heart was. I never really had time to process a lot of things because I was always trying to figure out, okay, am I going to be living here tomorrow? Am I going to be living here because I got to pay rent? Am I going to be this? Am I going to be that? I never really had time to sit back and think to myself, what is it that I want to do with my life? Because I was so focused on maintaining what I had then and there, stuck in the present. I wasn't necessarily focused on my future, or I never really had time to sit down and think about my future. I noticed that a lot of people that did grow up in homes where they were like, they have their family home, they have their parents together in one household. I noticed that they are able to actually take their time and figure out what they want to do and actually pour into those things. And for me, it was like not being able to pour into those things because that just wasn't, I never really had that opportunity. I don't want to get this misconstrued and say that like I had a bad childhood, or I grew up in a way that enabled me. In some ways, yes, but I never struggled or dealt with problems as a child that would lead me to not knowing who I am. That is not the case. But me noticing how unstable my mind and my heart was, it kind of made me want to sit down and be still. I don't know what you all believe in, but I know that I believe in God, and Sometimes God wants us to just be still. Now, this was a very hard concept for me to grasp because I was so focused on what's next. What do I do? 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 And I knew that before I moved here that was a problem. And I would pray to God for peace. I would pray to God to be able to just sit down and relax. And then when I got that prayer, when that prayer was answered, and I don't know if y'all know, but prayers don't always come in a form of, here you go. It comes in the form of lessons. So for me, it was very hard for me to be still because my mind and my heart was so unaligned and unstable that I couldn't understand exactly what was happening to me. God was telling me to be still, to sit down and to analyze who I am, what I want, and how I'm going to get there. Being fixated on what's next kind of takes away from the journey because you accomplish one thing or you square away something and then you're like, okay, now what? Instead of basking in that moment and figuring and saying to myself, hey, I just did this. This is how I did it. This is how this is going to take me to the next level. I would never correlate the things that I did. I would never put them together and say, okay, that adds on to this, that adds on to that, because I was constantly on the go mentally. So now, being in a space where I'm blessed enough to where I can be still, it is extremely hard for me. It is extremely hard for me, and I don't know how to do it. Now that I have the opportunity to do so, I've been sitting back and I've been really thinking about what I want to do with my life. Yes, I want to be an entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur. Yes, I want to be a content creator. I am a content creator. But it's also so much more to my life that I did not realize I needed to think about, or I didn't realize that I needed to visualize, to work on, to manifest, to pray about. I realized that I needed to figure out what type of woman I wanted to be in the world and who I wanted to show up as every day and how and what I needed to do to get there. Me not being stable in sense of a living situation has really put me in a space of unalignment, instability within myself. And I'm just so grateful to God for this experience. And it's, like I said, it's hard, but it's so needed for me, because if I did not have this time to where I can actually sit back and all my bills are paid, sit back and the customers and the orders and clients are rolling in without me even lifting a finger, I would not be able to figure out who I wanted to be and who I wanted to show up as. So I say all of this to say that you need to find a situation to where you can be stable, where you can think, where you can learn who you are. Because yes, you know what you want to do in the world, but who is going to do it? Who is going to show up and say, this is me and this is what I do? We can get lost in the goal or the outcome and we don't take heed to the journey of it all. There's so many successful and famous and wealthy people that are bored. They're bored with their lives. They do crazy and evil things because they have nothing to look forward to. So make sure you take the time to find your stability within yourself. Yes, you want to make sure you have an environment to where you're safe, you can think, you can move around, but you don't want to create a stagnicity within your journey. You don't want to create a stagnicity within yourself. You don't want to hinder your soul from its own journey by trying to figure out what you want to do in the worldly plane of things. Yes, we all want success. We want to be financially free. We want this and that, but you also want to be aligned within here. You want to be able to think properly. You want to be able to move properly. You want to be able to say, hey, this is who I am. This is not what I align with, and I'm not going to do it, and I'm not going to be involved. You don't want to be in situations where you are just doing things because you're trying to get ahead and you're trying to move forward, and you don't want to make it seem like I'm just going to do this trial and error, trial and error. Yes, trial and error is fine. That's how you learn from life experiences. But you also want to make sure that you avoid as much trial and error as possible by knowing who you are and knowing what you stand for and having your morals and your soul aligned with you. You can easily say, I'm not involved. I don't want that. I don't like this. That is not who I want to show up as in this world. You want to make sure that you find a balance within yourself and find that stability so that you can move forward as the person that you want to be. The goal is cool. The outcome is cool, but don't forget your journey along the way. So I just wanted to make that video about stability because it is something that I genuinely did struggle with for years. And I don't think that this is my last stop as far as home or anything, but it definitely has helped me sit down and be still. God doesn't always come to us in a sense of chaos and us moving around and us trying to figure things out, because a lot of times we don't listen, we don't understand, we can't see clearly. So sitting down and having the space to where you can think will allow God or whoever you believe in to pour into you, to guide you to your next steps, to put opportunities in front of you that you just didn't even know were going to come to you. Because at the end of the day, what's for you is for you. But you can't slow down your own journey if you are not aligned with your purpose. So make sure that you take the time to do those things and to sit back and to observe and to bask in your journey and understand that you have to develop yourself instead of always catering to the goal or the outcome. You have to develop your growth. You have to learn. You have to understand exactly who you are. Because when someone say, okay, well, who is this person that wants this thing? Who are you? You need to be able to answer that with flying colors. I realized that the person that was praying for these things a couple of years ago, she did not deserve them. She did not need them. She was not warranted to have them, because who was that? Like, looking back now, I'm like, who the hell was I? Now I feel so much lighter. I feel so much more at peace. I feel so much more guided, and I understand a little bit more. And now I can finally say, I am ready to reap the fruits of my labor. I truly, truly am. Because not only would I have gotten those things too early, I probably would not have been able to sustain them. So remember that when you pray for things, you have to be able to sustain them. And the person that you are and the person that you were probably isn't ready to handle those things and would probably lose them before they even get to enjoy the fruits of their labor. So just take that with a grain of salt, or take that with the faith of a mustard seed. I don't know. But I just wanted to come on here and talk to y'all about this and really connect with y'all in a different way. I hope that this video was beneficial to somebody, and I hope that this video touched somebody. If you like these type of videos, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, because I truly do enjoy doing sit down videos. It helps me learn how to articulate my thoughts better, because truly I am very bad at describing things. So this is something that really does help me, and I really enjoy being able to get my thoughts out and to vent and to connect with you all. So if you enjoy these videos, make sure you all subscribe. My name is Rena Elise, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.